This right here is the one package that's essentially holding us back from installing our engine back into the hatch. What is going on, my friends? Hope you all having a great day. In today's video, we are going to attempt a few things. Attempt number one is going to be to reassemble our Blausch turbo. This is much different of a design than I've ever seen before with any other turbo I've ever rebuilt. I've probably rebuilt like 4 or 5 turbos, so not a lot. I know the basics of it, but we needed some parts to get this guy rebuilt, and we got them. Turbo Lab of America has a rebuild kit. So this center cartridge right here is from a GT 3076 or 3071. Same exact cartridge. And Turbo Lab of America has rebuild kits for the ball bearing turbos. And if you want to pick one up, I'll link it down below. They're on Amazon for about $150 for the whole entire kit. Now, we didn't need the whole entire kit, so I didn't get the whole entire kit. There are just a few parts and pieces that we did need. And if we can successfully get this turbo rebuilt and put back together, we're gonna get the engine into the car today, which is very, very exciting. Unless we run into some unexpected issues, which I don't think we will. We're pretty well set off. I'm stoked. This build has been down for far too long. It's taken way longer than I had ever expected it to take. And if we can get the engine in tonight, this thing may very well fire up tonight or tomorrow morning. So let's go ahead and start messing around with our Turbski, attempt to get it rebuilt and see what happens. We went ahead and did the most difficult thing from what I understand, which was get the bearing cage back together with all the balls and get it back into the cartridge. We got all that finished up, and it's actually much more simple than I initially expected. So in the little rebuild kit we got here, we got 2 seals, we got the rings, we have the heat shield, and we have this front seal plate as well. And that should be all we need, in some new screws. So let's go ahead and get this thing completely back together. Another 15-20 minutes. Turbo should be done and ready to be installed onto our engine, which is exciting. I'm stoked. I didn't think I was gonna be able to get this turbo back together when I initially pulled it apart because those balls went everywhere, and I actually thought I lost a few of them, but there's 8 per side and I had 16, so that was cool. So now we move on to the sketchy part, at least for me. We have to press the turbine shaft back into the cartridge. The shaft is a press and fit into the bearing cage. So let's bring it over to the press. And just like we pressed it out earlier, which I didn't show you guys, my bad, we got a presser right back in. One more step is done. That wasn't so bad. All right, my friends, compressor wheel is back on. We marked everything before we pulled it apart, so I just lined the marks back up. That's what I've learned to do, and it should be good, nice and balanced. From here, we just have both housings, some lines, and we can get it installed onto the engine. Unfortunately, the motor is not going to go back into the car tonight. It'll go back in the morning, which I'll pick this video back up in the morning. So it'll be like 5 seconds for you guys. But there's too many little things that I want to pick up before we get it installed. We need a hose clamp for this parent inlet. The stock one is a little bit too small. I completely spaced buying new spark plugs. So we got to pick some of those guys up. And the throttle body gasket as well. Gasket that goes right here. Don't have that either. So I'm gonna grab all those pieces in the morning and we can go ahead and get this thing dropped back into sus. She's coming along, boys. Hopefully we can potentially get her fired up soon. This thing's pretty much ready to go back into the car. I'm gonna go ahead and swap out that rear main, throw on the flywheel, throw on the clutch, and we can get her dropped in. Yay. And just like that, engine is into the car. All of the bell housing bolts are in, motor mounts are on. Not a fan of the intake manifold because it's shiny, but it is what it is. Okay, let's start running through and knocking things out. We have to build the fuel lines that go from the regulator down to the radium rails. We have to get the power steering hooked up. AC lines have to be ran, heater core hoses, the slave cylinder, starter. What else? Just a lot of miscellaneous odds and ends. Some wiring that runs up to the alternator. Let's get going. Engine is in the car. We have a ton of stuff installed. We don't have much left for the first start. I am gonna grab some some gear oil before we run it, and I need to grab some coolant as well. We got the fuel lines made. Such a clean setup. I love this radium regulator with all the lines. It's such a nice and clean, simple setup. I'll have it linked down below. But yeah, pretty much all we have left. We have to figure out our boost control. We have EBCS we have to install. We have downpipe, some intercooler stuff, some fluids, and we should be able to fire her up. I'm gonna wrap it up right here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, my friends. I'll see you tomorrow.